Let's see here. Ed, watching Free Speech TV in Saginaw, Michigan. Hey, Ed, what's on your mind today?
Yeah, I was just wondering, they're talking about putting sanctions on China and stuff and all that. What about all the money we owe China? What can China do about that?
We don't owe China any money at all, to the best of my knowledge.
We don't?
No, are you talking about their purchasing U.S. treasuries?
Huh?
Are you talking about China purchasing U.S. treasuries?
Yeah, China. Yeah, we borrowed money to get. Yeah.
Well, it's not that we borrowed money. It's that we sold them an investment. So their money is now helping support our country. But the fact of the matter is, the U.S. treasuries. Right now, treasuries are selling. They're returning around a yield of around 2%, which means that there's more demand for them than there is supply of them. The safest place in the world where people can put their money is in U.S. treasuries. And so China has bought about $1 trillion worth of U.S. treasuries, and, they're sitting on them. It's a good investment. If they were to decide to sell those treasuries, they would have no problem doing that. There's plenty of people out there who want to buy them, and it wouldn't affect us at all.
So you mean I can buy treasuries too, then?
Yes, you can. I can. George W. Bush was born with $1 million in treasuries in his trust fund. I mean, wealthy people buy treasuries like there's nothing else out there. Because, the federal government, the U.S. government, in its 240-year history has never, ever defaulted. And so if you've got money that you want to protect and you want to have a small level of interest on it, it'll, as I said, you'll make 2% a year on it right now. But you can buy treasury bills and you can make that 2%, and it's absolutely guaranteed and it's totally solid. Ed, thank you for the call. But here's the catch. Here's the kicker. You've got our national debt is supposedly $20 trillion. $3 trillion, $2.65 trillion of that is the Social Security Trust Fund. Another trillion of that, roughly, is other internal funds where the government owes money to itself, essentially. Part of it is held by the Fed. So, let's say for purposes of discussion, it's around $16 trillion that is actually the so-called debt of the United States. What that actually means is that the federal government of the United States is offering savings accounts, just like banks do, that pay 2%, which, by the way, is better than you can get from a bank right now. And so you can put your money with the federal government, and you can make the 2%. Now, the banksters on Wall Street are looking at this going, holy cow, if we could get $16 trillion deposited in Chase and Citibank and Bank of America and HSBC and whatnot, if we could shut down that government banking program, essentially, that government savings program known as the national debt, if we could shut that thing down, we could force all those people to put that $16 trillion in our bank. And we could charge them fees, and we can skim money off the top, and we can make a huge profit, and we can pay, This is the whole game. And, Wall Street bankers like Pete Peterson, the Pete Peterson Institute, and others, there's a bunch of Wall Street bankers that literally since the 1950s have been trying to get the federal government out of the savings business. Now, we did this once before in the United States. In the 1830s, I think it was 1832, I could be wrong, but in any case, President Andrew Jackson paid off the national debt. Suddenly, there was no safe place to keep your money. And what happened was we went into the longest and deepest Great Depression in the history of the United States. Don't buy their nonsense. We'll be right back.